Hey y'all, so I am back with the next flower essence to share my experience with you. So we have Sacred Heart, integrating heart strength and compassion in relationships. Flower essence spray. I've probably bought this one about 4 or 5 times now. Um, this one is a really comprehensive one, I feel like, because it works with relationships, which when you think of relationships, it's not just romantic relationships, it can work with familial relationships as well as work relationships and your relationship with yourself as well as pets, right? So this one, I used this one a lot when the pets were in their dying process, in their actual dying process. I used this one more so during the dying process, and then I used grief relief more so after. And Chris used this one as well during the dying process and then grief relief after. And with this one, I feel like it really helped combined with the compassionate caregiver for Chris and I to really honor each other and honor each other's boundaries and emotional processing and the paces and flows that we had with our processing. And it made for very smooth sailing when it came to losing pets in our household. And we had been in really choppy waters right before that. We found out one of the cats was dying actually as we had some really big stuff going on with his parents visiting because he wasn't doing so hot and was really struggling with closet drinking. And so there was all of that that led up to it. And so this essence came into our life. And I feel like when this essence came into our life, it really helped soften and pause some of what was going on with the addiction struggles. And then it really helped make way for boundaries to slowly develop that had not existed or it wasn't realized they needed to exist. And then during the dying process, it really, like I said, helped us honor each other, hold space for each other in our own ways with our different emotional flows and processes. And then afterwards, I also feel like it really helped me, well, during the dying process and then afterwards, I feel like it really has helped me um in my work life. I feel like it's helped me have strength at work, knowing that yes, this isn't the job that's like the most aligned with like my dream vision and my high heart, but it's a stepping stone, or as one of my Barbie Squad coworkers says, she says, it's a sponsorship to get me there, which I really love that reframe. I'm like, yes, they are sponsoring me to get to my like next step, which would be to have my business up and running sustainably, right? And so it's really helped me just like be in the heart space at work, doing the things that I don't necessarily want to do, which over time I've realized it's also helped me. This has helped me realize the job is actually serving me in ways I didn't realize it was serving me because it's teaching me a lot about um like containers in my own business with like my one-on-ones and like no call, no show fees, late cancellations. It's teaching me about the importance and value of my time with how like the people that I work with really value their time and they move on to the next appointment. Whereas before I used to really struggle with like honoring the time in the container of the one-on-ones. And like if a person was 20 minutes late, I'd still let them have the full hour, for example. Or if a person decided to cancel last minute after telling me they were going to be late, then I would like go ahead and still schedule them again because like I just didn't know better. I didn't have these structures in place. So the job has really helped me with that and it's helped me integrate that heart strength for my business, right? And then compassion in relationships. It's helped me be compassionate to myself as I learn and trial and error, as I transition from Flow and Glow Reiki to Gypsy Sky Synergy, which has been ongoing for the last like 2 years. There's been a lot of identity shifts. Um, it's helped me have compassion for myself with all the learning curves. It's helped me have compassion and heart strength as my business takes form and shape in new ways that I didn't even anticipate in living in Florida. Like I moved out here thinking I could do one-on-one sessions and it would be such a great place for me. And then lo and behold, the laws out here are not in support of me and that I would have to go to massage school and pay thousands of dollars for a massage school license when I have no interest whatsoever in massaging people. I don't. Um, I have studied energy for goodness, like 6 years now, maybe 7 years. I can't remember. And I've spent a lot of money on studying energy as well as my own sessions on myself because I do believe your container, your channel has to have like that integrity. It has to have that cleanliness to it. It has to be maintained and kept up with. It's not just like, oh, I did these sessions like 6 years ago and my channel's clear and I know it all because my spiritual awakening. That's not how it works. Like when you're truly serious about the healing arts and being a facilitator in the healing arts, you're constantly learning and growing and shedding and sharing. You share your experiences to help other people that are going to come to you that need help with similar things. And you go through so many things because it's so much easier to help someone if you have that experience in your energy field. You can truly drop into their shoes and have compassion and truly have that empathy and ability to relate, having gone through similar things. It's just how it works in the brain and with humans being wired for connection, right? It's easier to connect having had experienced it. Um, but then you got to do the shadow work. You don't want to be the facilitator that, oh yeah, I went through that and this is everything that I went through and blah, 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 blah. And then you snuff out the client's story. And then perhaps the client is uncertain because they're just getting into spiritual awakening and they think they're supposed to give their power to the facilitator. And then they continue to lose their power going into their spiritual journey. You don't want that either. So then um with Florida, back to Florida, sorry, tangent. So then anyways, with Florida, yeah, like I don't want to do massage school. I don't want to do cosmetology. I don't care about doing facials. Florida has a law where you have to have some type of license to lay hands on someone. Like this counts as a massage. That's a massage. Mm-mm, not in my book, but in Florida's book, that's a massage. And then even the sound baths out here, I see people do sound baths and they feel very surface and perhaps um that's what people need out here because I feel like these are very cleansing lands, karmically speaking. And sometimes before you can even get to the real dirt and grit inside, you have to clean the surface, right? But even sound healing and sound baths, that's technically it requires a massage license out here. And I just don't care about that. I don't. So what I have allowed myself to evolve into, and I feel like this essence has really helped me embrace the evolution. Before this essence, I was not embracing the evolution. But it helped me have that strength to adapt, to evolve, to surrender, to be flexible, and then to be compassionate to that younger me that had these dreams that moved out here, and be compassionate to the me of now that's like learned so much and is like, okay, like that didn't happen that way. That was a little naive, but thank you for getting me here. I'm glad the trees of Florida bamboozled me so I would come here and learn what I was supposed to learn, or else I probably wouldn't have come, right? It's all divine orchestration. But anyways, so in New Mexico, I would not need that license. I'd be able to continue practicing how I was practicing when I started as Flow and Glow Reiki. So now I'll be able to move back to New Mexico in the next year and take everything I've learned out here, which what I'm learning out here is to go ahead and work on my website, build foundations. Pluto is in Aquarius right now. It's a big shift for the collective, and it was a big shift for my business, I realize, because I have a big dream and I really want to help as many people as I can. And to do that, I have to have strong foundations. And to have those strong foundations, it does require having that heart strength and compassion for myself. And then in so having it for myself, I'm able to have it for those that I am in relationship with as a facilitator with my client in the expansion containers between ourselves and God, Goddess energy. I always see it as like facilitator, client, or recipient, and then God, Goddess. To me, the expansions are always three. It's a co-creation. Um, and so now out here, what I'm learning is I have been learning through the job that I have that I need to strengthen my containers where I honor the time boundaries, time limits. My time is valuable. Not having like refunds and um, definitely having people sign off on policies and stuff like that. And then I'm also learning like the value of having heart offerings because it's like I love energy healing so much. And in Florida, it sucks because if I charge for it, then I can get in trouble. If I don't charge for it, I don't get in trouble. That's the loophole with the massage license. If you're not charging, then it's fine. You're off the radar. So I have found that it's been really wonderful out here for me to switch and adapt and um, start facilitating group expansion sessions through YouTube. If you look under, I want to say it's the live playlist, there's a series of expansions. I have two series. One was more so nervous system related, and then the other one, I don't really feel like it has like a set theme, but it was just a really good series with like women in money, creativity, weight loss, energetic weight loss. I just did the inner vision one. I just wrapped it up. I'm so grateful because I need time to integrate my expansions, which this will be useful for integrating my expansions because they've worked and stretched me and molded me and shaped me in so many ways. Anytime I facilitate, I always shift. And this essence has really helped me shift and hold those shifts and come more into embodiment. And so I've been doing these expansions as heart offerings for the collective. So that way I do have compassion in my relationships with my clients. Like, I don't agree with the practitioners that are out there that say you shouldn't have free offerings because then you're just going to magnetize like nothing into your accounts. I think if you're truly in it for the people and truly aligned with love, there ought to be tiers where you have your freebies and then you have your low income stuff. And then you have your higher paying client stuff. And I think it's okay to have a myriad of things, making it accessible to people wherever they are in their journey. I remember when I first started, I was super tight on a budget. I'm on a different budget now, but still budgeting. And I appreciated the freebies I did, and I still appreciate some of the freebies that I do. And then I also really appreciate the people that have the lower tier stuff. And it's through their models that I realize my body or my business is reshaping itself out here to be more optimal in its functionality and what it has to offer as a service to humanity and to Mother Earth. And I feel like a lot of this reshaping has been able to really be like integrated and embodied and understood through the Sacred Heart essence. So you see how it's like working on relationship with self, relationship with business, relationship with clients, relationship at work, acceptance at work, integrating heart strength, because the heart powers everything, helping the heart have that heart strength that's already there to make the shifts, to adapt, to evolve, to be flexible as you go through the currents and flows of life, right? And so I found it really useful for that. And I haven't used it as much at my work recently. However, there was a while where I was using it a lot because I was very unhappy at my work. And then I just started to see, I was like, oh, this is why everything is the way it is. It's like getting called to evolve and to really tune into the wisdom of my heart and that heart strength and integrate and understand that heart strength. And then I'll be able to go back to New Mexico with all this cleansing and newfound knowledge. And then everything will be more embodied to where I can have the one-on-ones, I can do the group work that I want to do. I'll have my free online offerings. I'll have my affordable online offerings. My children's book series is in the works, which I'm aiming by the time we move out of Florida to at least have drafts one, two, and three completely written and polished. And then by then, um, have had the books picked up by a publishing company. I do not want to chase. I would rather attract it. And I know that's quite possible. And there is definitely one that is on my radar that I'm waiting to hear back from. So praying, hoping, pussy sparkles, that it happens. Send me lovely vibes to magnetize that. I would really appreciate that. And then, yeah, like this essence I feel like is really helpful for like heart-centered work and being in your heart with whatever job you have, as well as nourishing the heart when you're going through transition and interpersonal problems in your partnerships or in your friendships. This can be really useful for like understanding why we go through the friendship breakups we go through and going into new layers of self-healing and actualizing and understanding patterns and not trying to prove yourself to the friend, not trying to chase them, but truly releasing them with gratitude and acceptance and understanding where they are in their season of life, whereas compared to where you are in your season of life, right? And I feel like this one is really useful if you're working with like journaling and maybe you've had friendship breakups that were several years ago. And as life would have it, we go through grieving and all these things in cyclical ways. So maybe something came up, maybe Mercury retrograde brought an old friend out of the woodwork. And then I know I was that old friend for someone recently. Um, but maybe Mercury retrograde brought someone out of the woodwork and then you're like, why is this coming up right now? What am I supposed to do with this? Maybe it would be wise to work with the flower essence and then allow it to show you what is coming up for your heart and then journal on that or do some like EFT tapping on that or maybe yin yoga or somatic dancing. You could do swamping like Mama Gina teaches. I have a swamping video. And then yeah, go from there and then see if that helps you heal a new layer of that friendship breakup. Because sometimes friendship breakups are more personal and hard to deal with than even like a regular breakup. Because depending on who the friend is, if it's someone from like your childhood, your roots grew up together. Have you ever seen those plants that like you pull out of like the little planter things from the store and like their roots are all tangled and when you pot them because you broke them apart, they one of them dies and one doesn't. Sometimes that's what it feels like when you go through a friendship breakup. Your roots are entangled and sometimes you're not gonna feel like you're able to go on without certain people because they've been such a part of your life and you got to honor that and grieve that and mourn that, as do they, but you can't do it for them. You have to honor what the breakup's about. You have to honor what they're telling you or what you're telling them, and this essence is really, really helpful for that as well, and it'll give your heart the strength to mourn, to grieve, to move forward, and to have compassion for yourself and for that friend, and to come into new understandings with what was, what is, and what no longer is, right? So that's what I got on the Sacred Heart integrating strength and compassion and relationships flower essence. I'd love to hear if you've used this before or if you end up using it, how it helps you in your day to day as well. And if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do so so that way you could be in tune with any upcoming flower essence videos, as well as any of the energy transmissions that I put out. Or um, I'm thinking of releasing videos on the mind body connection soon. I've been meaning to do that for a while, but life be lifing. However, that is coming soon. So just subscribe and stay tuned. Thank you so much and see you in the next one. Bye.